Oscar, I do believe Eddie Hearns, you suck as a promoter. You need more fighters that know how to win. Oscar De La Hoya gives Eddie Hearns the business. The business. He did his clapback Thursday. You guys can watch to the end of the video. I will include it. But Eddie Hearn absolutely gets demolished by Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar's been having fun with the Clapback Thursday series, and he's basically saying that Eddie Hearn is lacking as a promoter, and all his fighters find a way to get beat, and it's a bad look. And Oscar's been on this tip, no diddy, where he doesn't really seem to believe in Eddie Hearn and believe that Eddie Hearn is a legit or good promoter. For one, Oscar has stated that he understands the business because he's been on both sides of it. Now, I don't think that's necessarily needed because Al Heyman, he's a master at business, Harvard graduate, and same with Bob Arum. They didn't throw punches and they weren't boxers, but they know a lot about the business. I think Eddie Hearn just underestimates how big America is, so he doesn't fully understand or grasp the American market. And I've said this for the longest. You can say whatever you want about Eddie Hearn, but name a US star that he worked with and he got them to that level. So the biggest names he's worked with, like let's say a Canelo Alvarez, literally he started working with Canelo after PBC and Showtime and Golden Boy had already built him up in America after he had been placed on Floyd Mayweather undercards and whatnot. So it's not the same as finding someone. Like he's done it in the UK, a guy like Anthony Joshua, where you go from 0 to 60 with Joshua's career from the moment he basically turns pro to where he's at now and the type of money he's making. But he really doesn't have that going for him in America. And now you have the biggest star that he has, Jaron Ennis, is a guy who's great talent, a skilled fighter, looks special, but so far Eddie Hearn has not been able to provide him with the types of looks and the types of fights that will catapult his career and get him to the next level and get him to become a pay-per-view draw. His very first fight with Rematch Room, he was supposed to fight Cody Crowley. Cody Crowley gets injured, and as a result, the fight gets pretty much scrapped. And then they bring in a guy that Terrence Crawford already knocked out, and Jaron Ennis kind of beats him into submission, but it wasn't as emphatic or as crowd-pleasing, the ending of that David Avocado fight, as Bud Crawford, who ended it in the round, right? So Eddie Hearn has a lot of ground to gain. The two things that's very concerning with Oscar and Eddie Hearn's beef is I don't see why more people aren't talking about this. There's no way this could be good for business. So both companies, I guess you could say, have worked with Turkey and Riyadh season, and they're both on the DAZN platform. So for me, I feel like that's almost a conflict of interest that you guys are cannibalizing yourselves and at each other's throats so frequently, and you're like destroying the product. Like when Eddie Hearn has a show or when Joshua loses, you got Oscar doing clapback Thursdays and making fun of it and saying your shows suck. Or there was a time where Eddie Hearn had a show and then Oscar's tweeting, I'm waiting for some real boxing. When is real boxing on? So he's taking shots and taking jabs at Eddie Hearn. And then Eddie Hearn, who also likes the limelight, just like De La Hoya, likes the camera, he's doing the same thing and he's dissing Oscar De La Hoya. He's doing impersonations. He's saying Oscar sucks, lost Canelo, this, that, and the third. So let me know in the comment section what you feel. But where I'm from, that's definitely a conflict of interest, because at the end of the day, you guys are kind of on the same team in terms of entities and platforms, and you guys are pretty much hating on each other and trying to sell a product and trying to compete with each other in-house. imagine if PBC did this. Imagine you have like Tom Brown, TGB Promotions, and then like, let's say Samson Lukowitz and Leonard Ellerby. If you notice, they kind of uplift each other. Leonard Ellerby says great things about Samson and Tom Brown, etc. But imagine if those three promoters who have supplied fights and have fighters and things that they work with, imagine if they're like cats and dogs at each other's throats against each other, you know, and then trying to sell a product, especially a product priced the way DAZN is priced. Seems weird to me. Let me know what you guys think. Here is Oscar De La Hoya's Clapback Thursday.
It's your favorite time of the week. Time for the only segment in boxing that gives you the facts and makes you laugh. It's Clapback Thursdays. And this week, I have a special guest joining me. Let's get right into it. First, let's start with Eddie Hearn, who lost his mind after I called out the facts last week that all his fighters either lost or got injured.
It's all smoke and mirrors. When Oscar says I haven't built anything in the U or haven't got any fighters, I mean, if I want to reel off Shakur Stevenson, Jaron Ennis, Bam Rodriguez, I mean, that's three of my US fighters right there. Canelo left him a long time ago. Ryan Garcia, God knows how that's going to play out. Jaime Munguia has left Oscar De La Hoya, gone to Top Rank. He's put in Barboza in with Ramirez, who cares? And Gilberto Zerdo Ramirez, he lost us. We tonked him around with Bivol years ago. Tell me one fighter that is a star that they have. And don't say Virgil Ortiz.
Eddie, am I just imagining that 14 of your main event fighters all lost this year? 14 fighters! It happened again last week with Sandy Ryan, and the week before with AJ, and the week before when Shakur got hurt, and the week before when Berlanga got destroyed. Here's a look at all 14 fighters.
No.
You must be the biggest pathological liar on the planet to try and continue convincing us that you're good at your job. It is a fucking train wreck. The Matchroom curse is a real thing. And you always bring up the fact that Canelo hates me. Yes, we fucking hate each other. It doesn't change the fact that I promoted him for 10 years and built him from scratch in the US. Canelo was with you for 8 fights and dumped you because you're incompetent and incapable of doing your job. Your record proves that. These are the facts. Oh, and one more thing.
Eddie, you said I don't have stars? Well, who's this? Fuck you.
Remember, folks, you're never a hater when you only speak the facts.